Whoa. 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 It's the illusion reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. Spaceship Earth. How's everyone doing? It's we're doing Sober Wednesday a little bit early. I got something else going on in a little bit, but I thought it was a good idea to probably chime in since we missed last week due to prior engagements, if you know what I mean. Prior engagements, things were going on, living that abundant life, if you know what I mean, and doing that stuff, dude. So let me see, dude. I just gotta print this really quick. Whatever. Yeah. All right. Multitasking. No such thing, right? No such thing, man. All right, dude. What's going on? Brett, Grateful Ed, Drowning Monday. Baked potato, dude. Baked potatoes, dude. Fantastic. So we are doing that thing, man. We're fired up in the dream, dude. So, well, we'll wait till that. All right, serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. Yeah. The wisdom to know the difference. That is always the challenge, isn't it? So this is our little bit of time together. It's a little less than an hour to share our experience, strength, and hope for those that suffer, so they might find a solution to whatever it is that ails them, whatever it is that is jamming them up and getting between them and a God of their own understanding. So, a lot of people are addicted to a lot of different things, and it can be food, it could be sex, it could be crack cocaine, it could be alcohol, it could be pornography, it could be drama, whatever it is, dude, whatever you're using to get between you and God, there is a solution, dude, and it's laid out in the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous on page 58, I think, dude. Is that page 58? Yeah, page 58, how it works. It's not an AA meeting. We're not associated with AA. We're not promoting or hyping AA. We are just merely taking their 2.5 pages and applying it to our life, because we can. And that's the beauty of it all, man, is this template will work for whatever's blocking you from having an abundant relationship with God. So with that said, let's read how it works. Chapter 5, how it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves the simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest. There are such unfortunates that they're not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They're naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those too who suffer from grave emotional mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we're like now. If you've decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you're ready to take certain steps. And some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, and powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures, half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives would become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to other human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're tired, ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs. Many of us exclaimed, "What an order!" I can't go through with it. Do not be discouraged. No one among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we're willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter of the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. That we were alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. And C, that God could and would if he were sought. Fantastic. Wow. Yes. There it is, man. It's just that easy. It's just that easy, dude. Thanks, Charlie. Appreciate it. It's just that easy, dude. Right? Maybe. Certainly doesn't seem to be that easy all of the time. But it gets easier. It really does. I think I've noticed that now I'm sober. I pray all day before I thought about getting high instead. Yeah, pretty much, man. Pretty much conscious contact with God's the name of the game, man. It is, it's no joke. Dude, what's going on, Marie? Someone dear to me fell last year because of alcohol. Prayers and determination changed it all. Yeah. Yes, indeed. So, yeah, it's pretty serious, man. It's all pretty serious, dude. But the real serious part is like the conscious contact with God, right? Like it seems abstract, almost died. Cannot say enough about God. Prayer truly works. Prayer truly does work. Yeah, that's the name of the game, is the prayer. It's hard sometimes, man. It's to remember, to remember to pray. But I think if you're kind of tuned in, like you're in a state, like I guess, man, I don't know what I'm saying right there. But anyway, prayer got you back. Yeah. Praying is solid stuff, man. So sober. It's a sober Wednesday, dude. I just had one of those moments, right? Like I had to jam down to the little market to get some hamburger buns. And I was just sitting there, when the like wind is just right and the temperature is just right and everything's just right. And you catch it. Like you're tuned in enough to catch it where you're like, this is rad. This is what it's all about. Just this brief intersection of all of it, dude. Like all of it happening all at once. And you're just in it and you know you're in it, man. And boom. Yeah. It's amazing what happens, right, Marie? And it's funny because you don't know when the moment's gonna arrive. Like, if you had told me I was gonna walk out of the market with some hamburger buns and I was just gonna have that moment, right? Where I was like, "Yeah, this is rad, dude." I couldn't have planned for it. I couldn't have calculated it. I couldn't have made it happen. I just had to be there for it to happen. And that's sort of like the gift of sobriety, right? Because when I was getting loaded, right? When I was like chasing things with bongs and brews and blow and whatever it was, I was trying to make those moments happen, right? Because like I remember when they happened in the beginning. It was funny. The other day I was driving. I had to drive down to Santa Ynez to shoot this ad for this company, and I I went by. I was driving down the 101, and I went by the place where I remember just this super gnarly high I had, like, when I was young. I must have been 17, 16, 17, something like that. I was driving south on the 101. I might have been going through that area for the first time ever. And I'd just gotten stoned. I was coming out over the little rise out at just south of Santa Maria. And you're in the rolling hills, and it was like the whole countryside was made of velvet. I just remember it distinctly. It was like one of those moments, dude, where you're just like the perfection of getting like stoned, dude. Young and seeing a new landscape, and it just glistening and melting and just being perfect and smooth and fantastic, right? And it's funny because I drove that thing, and I was like, it's still there. Like, it's like, I was like, okay, I still see it, but it's different. You only get one of those, dude, right? You only get one of those at that spot, and it happened, but it stood out in my mind, right? And I think a lot of, moved that ball forward for 25 years, trying to chase moments like those, like trying to make moments like those happen. Like I didn't plan for it to happen when I was young, driving down the 101. It just happened, dude. It was just like one of those moments, and I caught it, and it stands out. It's just like it's seared in there. And then you spend a lot of your like time trying to make it happen, just get the mixture just right. Just, if I just have enough of those with enough of that at those, I used to be able to, like, every now and then you would get, like, I used to call it like the that daytime buzz, dude. When I'd be in, like, you go to like whatever, for some reason I would go to like the doom room, like early in the day, and you would come out and you'd be like, you'd have a buzz going before the sun had set. It was still sunny out, like that daytime like thing, but you couldn't plan for it. You just kind of walk out, and there it was. Wow. It's sort of like, remember like in that movie Who Framed Roger Rabbit, when the first time they go into Toontown? That's sort of what it was like a lot for me, dude. Every now and then I would just enter Toontown, dude, and just be like, whoa, dude, look at this, dude. And everything was dancing, and sort of like the first time I ate acid, dude. It always stand out to me, dude. But those little primary moments, you could never recreate them again, dude. Not with the drugs, not with any of it. You couldn't recreate it if you tried. And you definitely spent a lot of time trying, dude, chasing it, chasing it, chasing it. And then you get sober, right? And then you're a sober individual going about your life. And so you're not chasing it anymore. You're just in it. And every now and then it happens where, like, you realize it, the thing that was always there, but it just happens, and you have the presence and connectivity to be part of it, right? And I think that's the cool part about being sober is like, I'm not trying to force any of it to happen, but I'm there when it does. And when it does, it's like that thing, dude. And but it's not like I don't have to chase it. I can just be in it and just experience it for a moment and just be like, right on, rad, dude. And then you kind of know everything's okay. But it's funny because, like, in that moment, it's like all the potential's there. Like, all the potential of the universe is right there in the center of your consciousness, dude. So I don't know, man. Yeah, 5 seconds is sometimes all you get, dude. But, like, there's one who has all power, that one is God, may you find him now. I find that if you can tap into that 5 seconds, man, it's an eternity, dude. You're tapping into the infinite consciousness of this experience, right? Like, that's why it's so potent. That's why, when you find it through a means of like, oh, I just smoked this and like it happens, or I just dropped out on my tongue and it happens, or I just drink a bunch of those and it happens. Like, that's pretty wild that you can like tap into that. Like, that's why it's called spirits, right? Like, that's why when you can tap into it through the concoction, and then it just, you don't anymore. Like, you're just like, I think that's the interesting thing about sobriety and the whole way you get there is, the drugs and alcohol and all that stuff worked for a split second. Like, it was on demand, dude. It was like on demand. And then it wasn't. But you don't know anymore that like the button doesn't work. Like, it's sort of like having a remote control that like the button just doesn't work. You broke the button, but you're still pushing the button for however long you push the button, dude. See if it'll come on. And along that way, you just go into the abyss, dude. And then you get a reset, dude. You get a reset, and then you get to like rebuild that remote control, so to speak. You get to rebuild it piece by piece, circuit board by circuit board, and then you get to like live your life, dude. And stuff happens, dude. It was it becomes one of those things like, I mean, it was sort of like yesterday in a weird way, with the chicken getting mauled by the neighbor's dog, and just the thing of like, I just like, I had that like peace from within, right? Like that peace from within. Not that it wasn't a bummer and a drag and all that kind of stuff. It was just, I didn't react on like an emotional level, dude. Like, I didn't make it worse. Like, I could have, like, I think if that had happened to me like back in the day, but then I guess back in the day I wouldn't have had a chicken, right? Like, I wouldn't have had any pet chickens because I was busy being a lunatic. But like, if that had happened back in the day before sobriety and even early sobriety, I think I would have like made the situation a lot worse. I think I would have flipped out, righteous indignation, just, all of that stuff. But I reacted calmly and did what I did and like wrapped it up, man. And I mean, I think that's sort of like what sobriety gives you too. It's like, it was like the other day, I was I don't know, I was doing something around the house. All of a sudden I heard a big crash. And I heard my wife like, and I walked into the kitchen, dude, and like somehow she had managed to like break the glass front of the stove. It was like all of a sudden that happened, right? It was like early in the morning. It was like one of those things. But like, it's funny. I like, there wasn't like, intuitively, I just knew how to handle this. So we just cleaned it up, took all the broken glass out, and got online and looked up a part and ordered it up, dude. Yeah, it was it was $160 hit first thing in the morning. But the point being of like that kind of thing, I think would have unraveled me back in the day, once upon a time, of like, oh, well, like, what do you do? Like, this sucks. Like, oh my God. Like, cause my mind first went there, like, oh, I got to go get a new stove now, dude. Like, this is doom. Like, how am I, like, what? Like, we're doomed, dude. Like doom ship arrived. I just didn't get on the doom ship, dude. I was just like, nah, I'm not getting on the doom ship first thing in the morning, dude. I'm just going to like button this up, clean up the stove, go online, poke around, see what's there. And it was like as easy as could be, dude. And I don't think that like life presented itself like that once upon a time. I think if I kind of look at it objectively from the 30,000-foot perspective, pre-sobriety, everything was just difficult, man. Like everything was difficult, dude. Even the easy stuff was difficult. I mean, just everything was just so difficult, dude. Like all of it, every part of it was difficult. And yet somehow like the alcoholic mind, right, thinks that like, oh, the weed's helping smooth things out. Just a couple cocktails. It's okay. Makes it go away. Right. And then you really like, you get on this side of the whole thing and you're like, oh my God, like, no wonder I needed to get stoned, because I was stoned getting like it being super hard, right? Like it was like sort of like the vacuum cleaner that eats itself. Like I had to be stoned to deal with it being so difficult because I was stoned. I had to drink because it was so difficult dealing with it as a drunk, dude, right? Like, and then you break the cycle. You break the cycle and you do the work on yourself, and you go through the mental rehab and the emotional rehab, and you all have that thing. And then you kind of look at it, you're like, life definitely does not get any easier. But how you respond to life becomes a lot easier. That's the gift. That is the gift that is sobriety, is it's just not so difficult. It's just as complicated, if not more so. But there's the ability to kind of deal with it on life's terms, to quote a bumper sticker, just bumper sticker the whole thing, dude. Yeah, so yeah, I used to smoke to get high, then smoke to get normal. Yeah, I think about how much time I used to do that thing where like, I do the hippie speedball in the morning, right? Bong hits and cappuccinos, and it was like the minute I ate food, I would hold off on eating anything as long as I could. And then I knew I was done. And it never got any better. Like that was always that thing. Like it was always just such a waste of time, dude. Live your life, don't drink it. I don't know, man. I don't know if like, I'll tell you what, I see people going about their business who just don't know what we have on the sober side of it all, dude. Like, I definitely subscribe to the thing is it's better to. I mean, I'm not encouraging anyone like that, but I will just say that, like, I think it's better to risk it all than not risk it all, if that makes any sense, is like, I think for like, I look at the drug addict and the alcoholic and the addicted as courageous people, man. Not so much because of the of the reasons why most people think it's like they had the courage to like burn it all down, dude. Like really just fly the plane into the side of the mountain, dude. Just go down with the ship, dude. Just bam, dude. Right in the side of the hill, dude. And I see a lot of people that just don't eat, that are just standing at the airport of life, like afraid to get on the plane. Yeah, like flew the plane into the side of the mountain, dude. Exploded on impact, dude. But you know, you learn to fly again, dude. You learn to fly and you don't need an airplane, dude. You don't need all of these things. You can fly without a plane, dude. You just the gig is just to make sure you don't get too close to the sun, right? Don't fly too close to the sun. I mean, that is like the sober problem, right? Like it's easy to stay level-headed when everything's like kind of difficult. The problem is to like not fly too close to the sun and melt your wings, dude. Yeah, what if the drinking's necessary? I think for many of us it is, dude. Like like I think there's like a lot of people who can cope with this ridiculous reality down here and manage it, dude. But I don't know if they really get the whole flavor of it in that sense. It's very precarious. Like I said, man, there's a lot of young people getting sober out there. So, like I'm fascinated by that demographic too. Like young sober people, man, like to gone through all the whole thing early, dude. What a fantastic thing. Talk about like a time compression expansion type of thing. Cause like you getting sober at 40 is great and all, but like, you got to put a bunch of time into the hamster wheel, dude. Like I can't like imagine being like sober, like young, dude. Like, wow, dude. Like what a fantastic thing. Like in your early 20s, like getting that extra couple decades in, dude. I mean, but whatever. We don't shut the door on the past nor regret it, man. We just acknowledge it for what it is, man. I fully support it, dude. Like what a gift that must be to realize the truth at such an early age and go deep into the person staring yourself in the mirror and be like, all right, man, like I got to deal with that being on the other side of the glass right now. What am I going to do? And realize that, you only have one option. That's just to turn to God and get busy, dude. Get busy living, dude. So yeah, man, it's a radical journey, dude. Like I said, I hope for those who are sitting on the edge of the abyss that you pick up the phone and you call for help, or you ask someone for help, or you do what's necessary to achieve a God of your own understanding so that you can live an abundant, happy, joyous, and free life, man. Like I think that's the goal of life, right? Is to realize that it is all optional. Like the pain is optional. It's not like you can just flip the switch and it goes away. But like there is solutions, man. There is all sorts of things that you can do. And I firmly believe that the journey is the reward, man. It's not like I can look back on it all now and just be like, whoa, man. Like, yeah, you had to go through all that. Oh, sorry about that. Been a long day. But yeah, it's a gift, man. It's a total gift. And I think about how like hard it was, but then you get through it and you're like, it really wasn't that hard. Like The hard part was just starting the journey, man. It's sort of like I think it's why it's interesting that dude skateboarded across America, right? Like you think about that dude sober, 5, 6 years sober, dude. Like that dude like had to like start with one push in Venice. It's funny, like that dude started skating across America, like at the Venice skate park where I skate, dude, you know? Like I know that. Like I think about that. Like imagine like skating across America from there. I don't, it's an inconceivable concept to me. But then again, it's doable because that dude did it, dude, by just one step at a time, one day at a time, dude. And you know, I think it's a good example of just what you can do over the course of time. Like time is not the enemy, time is our friend. And once you realize that time is infinitely abundantly limited, I really do find it fascinating how like how time changes when you get sober and how time expands and contracts based upon your perception of reality at any given time. Like it really is like I was saying, it's like that moment outside the market like an hour ago. Like that was infinite time right there. Like there was just an infinite time, and I stood for a second and acknowledged it and its infiniteness, dude. Like it's here. It goes on forever, and yet it's very limited in its scope. It's I think that's where like the gift of sobriety is really kind of works for me on like a deeper level. Is just you get to really like kind of trip out on these things with information that you would never have had getting loaded. Like you think you have the information, like you think you've got stony thoughts when you're ripping bong hits, or like really expansive thoughts when you're just tripping on mushrooms, and like really great ideas when you're pickled at the bar with a bunch of other mule heads, dude. And then you realize that like, no, it's you got sober at 40, dude. 40 sober. Pretty standard time for a dude to get sober. Like you're kind of at that point in your life where you're done it. Like that's what I mean is it's a definite, but time contracts and expands, dude. You know what I mean? That's the interesting thing about it. Like I don't know, the reason kids have to get sober now at such an early age is they blew themselves out, dude. So it's I find I don't know, man. I think the whole thing is just very like fascinating because there's no going back. Like that's what I mean. Like when I was burying our chicken the other day, I was like looking at it like there's no going back, man. Like there's no do-overs, there's no clawing back time. There's just a full like acceptance of the nowness of it all, man. And so I think that's the beauty of getting sober, right? Like when you get sober, you can actually accept the movement of time in a way that you couldn't when you were getting loaded. I mean, maybe you weren't maybe I don't know, maybe it just didn't. I think like the interesting thing with like getting loaded, if I from my perspective of it all was one day you're young getting loaded and the next day you're old and you're like, I'm all out of answers and this sucks. Like, where was that middle ground? I don't know, dude. where does it go? I don't know, dude. I was talking to a friend of mine the other day who was trying to get sober. I've known him forever. And the dude just like can't wrap his head around it. Like wants to, claims that he can, but just can't break out of the cycle, just chasing some sort of like adolescent concept that we had achieved. And I just was like, I was trying to explain to him, I go, dude, all that stuff we did back in the day, dude, like the whole point of doing that was to get here sober, like on this side of it with all of like, that was why we did all that stuff. Like all that madness and craziness and out of controlness we did was so that we could get to this point of life where like we get to like truly like walk with God, manifest things and accept things and be in the solution phase of it all. Like, yeah, like I don't look back on my drugging and alcohol with any sort of like regrets. I mean, I wish I could have gotten through it a lot quicker, but when I think about it, like, I mean, I went for it. You know what I mean? I went for it. And then I think if you really go for it, you just get to the end of it and like, all right, like, what's next, man? And then, yeah, sobriety is the ultimate invention, the ultimate bong hit, as I like to say, dude. The super duper ripper, dude, is sobriety. But I don't know, man. But I'm gonna get going here. I just want to check in Sober Wednesday, dude, because you know, it's sort of a thing we do. And yeah, stay fired up, stay sober. If someone could throw up the the sober number. Was it 988? It's the 3-digit code for if you're suicidal. Whatever, don't kill yourself, dude. Like it's a real good time to be alive. For many people, I get it seems daunting. It's the end of the world, dude. Like, oh, the sun's zooming in, meltdown expected. But I would say that's all propaganda, dude. It's all lies and the disease of perception. And so if you're at the edge of the abyss and you're like, oh my God, my only solution's to end it all tonight or today or whatever, wherever you are, I highly advise you pick up the phone and call someone and say, hey, dude, I'm thinking about doing myself in, and have them help you, because what you'll realize is it's just a temporary problem, man. And there's no need to make it a permanent solution, dude. Like I'm telling you, like a lot of people, we all have these thoughts, and when you realize that they're just thoughts, they're not answers, you're like, oh, like that's the thing. Like it doesn't change the problem. I think that's the thing. Like if you could if it was like a full erase, it doesn't change the problem. The problem still exists. You're just not here to fix it, dude, right? You're not here to like do it with God and fix it all up. So don't kill yourself, dude. And what is the suicide code, dude? I think it's 988. Hotline, dude. 988 is the 3-digit code. Call, text, website, dude. Dude, your life's important, dude. There's no reason to do yourself in tonight. And if you want to get sober, dude, you can literally type in your town, wherever you are in the Western world, probably anywhere on the planet, and type in central office, AA central office. And you get a bunch of numbers and a bunch of like lists of meetings. And if you want to get sober, you call that number or go to one of those meetings and just ask for help, dude. It's anonymous for a reason, dude. Like, gut up, dude. It's not a big deal, dude. No one's gonna ask for your credit card, dude. No one's gonna want your address or any of that. Like, they just want to help you. So there is a path. You can get sober. You don't need to kill yourself tonight. And remember, dude, like, look, there's the Canadian number is 1-833-456-4566, 833-456-4566. 988 in the USA, AA Central Office anywhere in the Western world. And like, just ask for help, dude. Just ask for help, dude. And let's get through this. And with that said, I will be seeing you at the next Sober Wednesday. God bless, and use the name tags.